Hi there, Working Homeschool Moms. This is Charlotte from Charlotte Jones 24/7 and My Little Homeschool. And this is episode number 97 of the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. Today, I answer a question that many new Working Homeschool Moms ask, and that is how to balance it all. Spoiler alert, it's not possible, but there are ways to feel like you are more aligned, to feel like you are more in control of your time. And I give you some practical tips and strategies to manage this in your new Working Homeschool Mom life. But before we get to the episode, I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, or subscribe to the podcast, or you could also forward this episode to a Working Homeschool Mom who also feels like she needs to know how to balance it all. And in that way, we can build this beautiful Working Homeschool Mom community together. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. Hi there, and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm your host, and I am a podcaster, a speaker, a writer, and a homeschooling coach, specifically for Working Homeschool Moms. I've been homeschooling my neurodivergent twin boys since 2017, and I've been a working homeschool mom since 2017. So I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom. I cover things like time management, homeschooling, mindset, and lots of other juicy topics like that. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. And I also welcome experts who can help you on your working homeschool mom journey. I have lots of ways to support you, so be sure to check them out in the show notes. You can download my time audit as your first step to managing your time better. I have a Facebook group for working homeschool moms that you can join as well. And be sure to sign up to my newsletter for weekly updates. And if you need additional support, you can join the WHM Collective, which is a supportive community of working homeschool moms where we delve deeper into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom. Or if you need one-to-one support, be sure to book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here, and I know you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Working homeschool mom, I know how overwhelming it can be to choose a math curriculum for your homeschool. That's why I'd like to tell you about the online math curriculum we've been using for years, ctcmath.com. As far as math curriculums go, it has loads of great features that solve lots of the math issues we've had, and I know a lot of homeschooling families have. Here are just a few of the many features that we really like. Questions are adaptive, which means the interactive questions change in difficulty depending on the student's ability. The program uses a smart algorithm that tracks the student's progress and delivers questions based on their exact needs. The student doesn't even know this is happening, helping them to build confidence and master math concepts. Concepts are delivered through video tutorials and summaries which are clear, complete, and easy to follow. It's like having your very own teacher. This ensures your children understand something before they're asked to practice it. And then for us parents, CTC Math has extensive reports which are so valuable in monitoring your child's progress and spotting any gaps. And they offer a 12-month money-back guarantee if this curriculum is not for you and your family. CTC will provide a full refund, no questions asked. But I think the most important thing is a whole lot less stress when it's math time for both parents and kids. You get to outsource math with confidence, and your kids get a fantastic tailor-made program that makes learning and mastering math enjoyable and positive. Visit CTC Math today to start your free trial. CTC Math is also offering you, listener, an amazing special. When you go to ctcmath.com/MLH, you can get a half price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. How to balance it all as a new working homeschool mom. Time and time again, I get asked by new working homeschool moms how to balance it all. I think it's something that many of us crave as humans, everything to be perfectly aligned all the time. Unfortunately, it's not possible. So let's just get that out of the way right at the beginning. But there are definitely ways to feel like you're spending your time well, that you have control over your schedule and your time, and that you're consistently doing what lights you up. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. You can't balance it all. Finding balance is unattainable. Trying to give everything an equal amount of attention and effort is going to leave you feeling depleted and frustrated. You also have to consider the fact that you might be trying to balance lots and lots and lots of different things at the same time. You're a mom, right? But this is going to take you even further away from any feeling of equilibrium. Some things are going to have to go. And I know it sounds simple, but it can be harder than it seems. We often cling onto things because they feel comfortable, we do them on autopilot, or we feel obliged to do them. Ultimate people pleaser over here, so I know what I'm talking about. But in order to feel more in control, you're going to have to take a long, hard look at your life. What's not serving you anymore? What brings you joy and fulfillment? And a time audit is a great way to do this. And I'll leave a link for my time audit in the show notes. So it's simple. You take note of how you spend your time, categorize all your activities, decide what can stay and what should go. And then you can have more control over your time and what you're trying to balance. After the break, we'll talk about your values and priorities. The WHM Collective is a monthly membership on Patreon that was created with you in mind, Working Homeschool Mom. If you're just starting out on your journey, or if you're finding it difficult to find your groove, then the WHM Collective is definitely the membership for you. Each month, we delve into topics that are going to help you thrive as a working homeschool mom, such as homeschooling, schedules, time management, and lots of other juicy topics. I know how busy life is for you, working homeschool mom, and I know how complicated life is too. So that's why this membership is super simple. Each month, there's one live workshop, one ebook, and one session of office hours where you can have your questions answered in real time. In addition, you'll get one free coaching session per membership and an added bonus of having access to all past content, which you can work through in your own time. So if you're feeling like you need some additional support as a working homeschool mom, then I really hope that you will consider joining the WHM Collective, because I know that it will help you so much to find clarity and to move forward in your working homeschool mom life. So the next step in balancing it all, or trying to balance it all, or to feel like you're more in control, is to know your values and priorities. As I said before the break, some things are going to have to go, but sometimes it's not so easy to know what's actually important and what isn't. And the only way you're going to be sure is to actually write down what your values and priorities are. You could start by asking yourself these questions. What are the things I simply can't live without? Which people are really, really important to me? What really lights me up? What makes me feel really proud? What would the perfect day look like? What would the perfect year look like? What do I want for my kids and their future? What do they want? Positive Psychology has an in-depth post with questionnaires that I will link in the show notes, and they will help you to identify your core values. Once you've done the work to really figure out what matters to you, you're going to be able to make decisions that align. It will make it much easier to let go of some of the plates that you're trying to spin, and it's also going to make it a bit easier because you'll know that they're not actually important to you. Setting boundaries is also an integral part of this process. Once you're crystal clear about your values and goals, you're going to be able to set boundaries around yourself, your time, and those values. The next thing I would like to mention in terms of balance as a working homeschool mom is self-care. Once again, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it many times. There's no way to balance it all, but you can feel more balanced as a human being. Just as good, right? And much more attainable. So a good way to feel aligned and at peace is to prioritize self-care. You need to give yourself time to rest, to do what you love, and to have time alone. It should be on the priority list. You know, you did your values and your goals exercise. It should be right at the top. Now, I know that self-care isn't always easy. I recently had to reevaluate what it means to me. If you're on my mailing list, you'll know I've been going through some family stuff. And my husband had to remind me to take some time for myself so that I could regroup. It was hard because I felt guilty, but it was so very necessary because I was on the verge of crashing, and that would not have been good for anyone. Self-care doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to take loads of time. It doesn't have to be super expensive. I have some ideas for quick self-care activities. I'll link them in the show notes. And as you feel more comfortable, you can do more and more each day. And finally, I want to talk about asking for help. After giving up some of the plates you're trying to spin, giving them to someone else is the best way to keep them spinning. I know that's a really crazy analogy. Asking for help is not always easy. And I know for me, I'm so darn proud. I have to stop myself from feeling like I'm unable to cope when I ask for help. But it's actually not true. In fact, asking for help is actually seen by mental health professionals as something that requires a lot of bravery and guts. And I'll link one of my favorite videos in the show notes. Psychologists debunk 25 mental health myths. It's such a good video. And in there, they talk about how important it is and how much guts it takes to ask for help. So help can come in so many different ways. Not everyone is lucky enough to have a super supportive spouse, friends who will lend a hand when needed, money to see a psychologist, or a loving family who's always on call. I'll tell you that I don't have all of these things either. But it doesn't mean that help isn't at hand. You can still find people to support you. It's important to reach out and to be open. And if that doesn't work, then you could also create a community around yourself rather than joining one. Community for me has been almost entirely online, and I've met the most wonderful people who have become true friends. These relationships are as important to me as any IRL relationship, and they have supported me on my working homeschool mom journey. Few final thoughts on how to balance it all. I know that as you start on your working homeschool mom journey, you may be feeling overwhelmed, and this is totally normal. Anything that's truly worthwhile is going to take work and it's going to take effort, and it can be super scary, and it can mean stepping way out of your comfort zone. I just want to leave you with this one last thought. Since I started my journey, I've spoken to many, 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 many working homeschool moms in my community, on the podcast. Each one of them has had a different experience, and that's important to acknowledge. Each homeschooling experience is unique, but there's one thing we all share. We finally figured it out. And the same will happen for you, I promise. If you're committed to this way of life, you're going to find out what works. You're going to find out a way to fit everything that's important into your day, and you will find your form of balance. It might just take some time, but it will be oh so worth the effort and growth and stress, because being a working homeschool mom is above all else a worthwhile endeavor. And if you ever need help and support, please reach out to me. And the best way to get this kind of support is to join the WHM Collective. We can work through that messy beginning so you can take those first steps into your working homeschool mom life with confidence. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Please let me know what your greatest takeaway was. You can reach out to me on Instagram at charlottejones247 or on my website at mylittlehomeschool.com, or you could even drop me an email at hello@mylittlehomeschool.com. I'd be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It will help spread the news about being a working homeschool mom, and in that way we can build this wonderful supportive community together. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, take care.